And a very good evening to you all from a very sunny United Kingdom today. How are you all? Welcome. My name's Colin and I'm here to do the presentation on the TachEon Warp. Michael, can you hear me? Have you got Warp? Okay. How long have you been coming into this room for, Michael? I'm going to show you stuff tonight that'll blow your mind. First time. Okay. So how do you know that the prior sessions I talked about the moon phases? Oh, okay. You've been watching my videos. I hope you've been watching Michael's videos. I don't think I've made any videos. Well, I've done a few voiceovers for these, yeah. Michael, if I show you these daily cycle markers, okay. If I show you what's going on with the ES on the daily cycle markers, and I can show you that we are making good money each week in the room, you're going to buy Warp tonight. Dave's got a brilliant deal for you. What do you think? Am I putting you on the spot? Am I making you feel uncomfortable? You're open-minded. Where do you live, Michael? Are you in the States or UK or Australia? Where are you? Texas. Okay, here's the daily cycle markers, my friend. Let's just bring them up here and pop them on. Now, you wouldn't have believed it with some of the price action that was going on that we're in a bearish phase at the moment, would you? Look what happened today. Woof. I was trading today and I thought this was going to push just a little bit higher. And she gave up the ghost at 46.35. What a drop. Boom. What a drop. So does that help? I mean, these are great signals, actually. Got a buy down here. Going back to 2022 October. You can see when they change phases, there's some whippiness goes on. It's kind of tricky to know where to enter, isn't it? Because you'd be seeing price right down here as a full candle. And you'd be thinking this time cycle marker is this daily cycle marker is wrong. It's going down, and then up she goes. And then she carries on into the next phase. The next red signal, what happens? It pushes down. Not for long, but long enough for you to get your stops to break even and not lose any money. Okay, even with this bar, you're still in a selling phase. You're below the EMA, and she turns over and pushes down. Okay, so it wouldn't have been straightforward making money. You'd have to have deep pockets if you're holding, but you know, if you work on the principle of your stop goes behind the dot, sort of 10 ticks or so, and then into the green, stop behind the dot, up she goes again, into the red. Now this one, you'd probably have been stopped out up here, or you'd have had enough time to get your stops to break even. One of the two. Yes, no. You'd have either made some money or been at break even, because we had a green dot here, pushes up. You'd have made some money on that, or at least stops to break even before she turns over. Gets a little bit choppy in here. Got a push down and a push back up. Price has got support. I always run fibs everywhere, all time frames. I'm always looking at my fib levels. Oh, what a surprise. Virtually the 61.8. Amazing. Amazing. And then after the choppiness, which is bound to happen, we're off again. Daily cycle marker, buy. Wow, what a lovely trade. Bit of choppiness, but price did push down. Now here would have been tricky. You'd have either lost money on this. No, you wouldn't have lost money. You'd have probably got out at break even, depending on where you entered. If you entered, let's say worst case scenario at the top of this candle, you'd have pushed up. Hopefully you'd have got your stop to break even and had a break even trade there. Selling signal, selling phase coming, and off we go again. This one you would have lost money on. Okay, you'd have been taking a full stop on that one. This one, depending on where you entered, you'd have been at break even, or you would have made a little bit of money. If you'd have entered there, you'd have probably lost money on that one. But, sorry, Larry, how do I merge the ES daily contracts? What do you mean merge? So I hope you've got that, Michael. I hope you've taken a picture of that. It was touch and go today, what was going to happen with the ES, and she has dropped. Okay, don't expect it just to fall through the floor at the moment. It's still very, very bullish. Okay, very bullish. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Good, good, good. Richard, welcome. Mark, good evening. Joe, Joseph, Jim, loads of people. Wow, 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 wow. How many of you guys have got what? Oh, I see what you're saying, Larry. You just want to know, you want to know how to get more data onto your NinjaTrader chart? Is that what you're saying? Okay. So if we take the NQ here on a 1 minute, go to data series, days to load. You've got it, have you, Dorian? Fantastic. Graham, excellent. Does that make sense, Larry? Yes, Bala. The daily cycle marker is meant to be used only on the daily chart. That's why it's called the daily cycle marker. Okay? And no, it's not the same as the PBT. Is that okay, Larry? Does that make sense? Is that what you were looking for? Put in more. See what happens. Okay, put in more. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off. The power of TachEon Warp, predictive trading technology. Back to the future trading. We are the only company online that gives you times and directions in advance, gives you trading rules in advance, and then 2 days later, we come along, we meet together, and we see what happened. Okay. Marcus de Sautoy, mathematician, he said, my big thesis is that although the world looks messy and chaotic, if you translate it into the world of numbers and shapes, patterns emerge and you start to understand why things are the way they are. Look at this. This wasn't around 10 years ago, was it? This is how things are changing. Okay. This is the one for backtothefuture.com. Wouldn't it be great? This is a chart of crude oil, 5 minutes. Okay. Wouldn't it be great if we knew these times where these stars were in advance? Jack Schwager of Market Wizards says, my experience with the interviews conducted for my book and its predecessor leaves me with little doubt that the random walk theory is wrong. Okay. On Tuesday, you were sent an email with lots and lots of times and bars like this. Okay. On Wednesday, you were looking at the charts, having been given the information prior to that. And today we have a look at it and see what happened. Signal, which is raw information, the setup, specific trade rules. We have the signal with trend, the 120 EMA, although the newer version of Warp, some of you will have the new trend change indicator built into it. I still keep the 120 on there. You can see 548, price pushes up, pushes down 618 into 642, pushes up. Here it just goes sideways. You can see the selling pressure just moving sideways into 712. Because of this price action, you're forewarned that we're likely to continue. Okay, you could have got out here. If you see this sort of price action, you can wait and continue the trend up. ES 3-minute chart. The crossover entering at the close of the bar with the stop below the candle. Okay, you enter here. Price goes sideways, come into a selling time, downward pressure. It's great, isn't it? Look at that. Amazing. ES on a 3-minute chart. Okay. Buying signal. Upward pressure. Now, you know, you may think I'm not buying this, we're below the EMA. Fine. I'm very careful with signals by the EMA, but these time cycles do work. Okay. Comes into 1357, downward pressure. And then the puncture trade. Okay. 845, market pushes up a little bit, pulls back down, puts in a double bottom, and then it explodes. It breaks through the 930 signal. You know that that has closed above the dots, therefore it's a puncture trade. Highly likely you're going to get trend continuation. The next candle tries to push back through, can't make it, and we're off to the races. Okay, 1 bar back into 948 and off we go. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that defines an edge. This truth makes trading a probability or numbers game. When you really believe that trading is simply a probability game, concepts like right and wrong or win and lose no longer have the same significance. As a result, your expectations will be in harmony with the possibilities. Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. So, is trading a guess about the past or the future? The choice before us this hour is: this is what just happened now, what happened a while ago in the past, or this is what is likely to happen next based on modern predictive modeling. That is the choice. Do you want to be proactive and know when in the future the market's going to move, or do you want to always be reacting with lagging indicators and tools? This is the unlevel playing field that we're on, up against the big boys. Okay, this is going to be Liverpool this year in the United Kingdom. We've just lost our captain and half the midfield. And we're going to be down here playing upwards, but we're still going to win. Okay, you're up against these boys. Barclays Capital, the Sharks, Goldman Sachs, Credit Suisse. You're in there. Who was it last week said it feels like they're up against the sumo wrestler? No, that's fine, Larry. That's fine. I hoped that I didn't take it personally. Okay, 5 to 10% of traders. This is Goldman Sachs. Okay, let's work with them and know when they're going to move the market. This is you, stuck in the middle. This is all the team at Back to the Future. Okay, this is me. I'm number 7. All right, sorting the wheels out. Wonder where Michael is. I can't see him. And Ron. This looks like Michael. He's doing something technical here. Yeah, Ron's probably taking the photograph. You win battles by knowing the enemy's timing and using a timing which the enemy does not expect. That's deep, isn't it? That's deep. So we give you the software, we give you the setup, we give you the workspaces and templates, we give you training and a discount. We also give you a trading future based on truth. Okay, what you see here each week, whoops, excuse me, what you see here each week, ladies and gentlemen, was given to you in advance. Just having a bit of tea. Okay, right. Some of you know me. My name's Colin. I run the trading room for Ron on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And let's have a look at the 3 markets that we trade in that room. Okay, it's the NASDAQ. We used to trade the Russell, but I'm quite partial to the NASDAQ. The ES and crude oil. I have to say at the moment, crude oil is not my favorite. In fact, I haven't got a crude oil chart available. Just bear with me a second. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ. Okay. So this is a NASDAQ 1-minute chart. Now I tend in the room to trade the 3-minute. So this is today's NASDAQ. Let's just go back a little bit. 935. Bum, 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 bum. 510, 400. Okay, what date have we got here? That's great. Doesn't tell us the date. 27th of July. So this is today's. Eight 10, 735, 450. We'll have a look at some of these signals. Okay, that's the 26th. Let's do a couple of days of the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's a tricky one, very, very tricky to trade. Okay, I'm going to start in the morning of Wednesday with this one. See what happens. 6:22 in the morning. We have a downward trend and we have buying pressure going on. Lots and lots of buying pressure. Okay, so we're looking at the price action. It's going sideways. It's found itself a shelf. It's found itself a support area. Finally, Europe opens 7 o'clock, pushes down, retests, puts in a double bottom. Okay, doesn't hang around. Next, that's the 7 o'clock push down. I do not trade that. Okay, it happens very quickly. And I let the market do its thing. We're still bearish. Okay. Now, 708 comes along. Look at the price action. It's not going up. You may be thinking, hang on, this thing's not going to go. It's going to come down again. And you'd probably have bought it, let's say at the close here. So you'd be underwater a little bit. Stop just behind the line. Got to be patient. You are patient. And off she goes. 727. Push down. What does the market do? It pushes down. Who remembers what I said about these bars last week? What did I say last week about selling bars at selling times and buying bars at buying times? Anybody remember? Selling bars at selling times, trend continuation. We buy them. It's a great place to re-enter. Okay. Up it goes, tries to break the top, doesn't, and you're still in the trade. Eventually breaks it. You had a buying bar 1 bar before the candle, so you'd have been well within your rights to stay in that just in case it's going to continue up. But it doesn't surprise me that in this particular case it came back down. Moving on, so the 752, you could have re-entered, but you would have probably either got out for a scratch or been stopped out on this one if you'd have used this as a signal for trend continuation. 803, well, bit of a mess. It's the start of the London Open. I wouldn't trade it. Some people would. If you had, you'd have been stopped out, only to see price come down into 809. Comes down, finds support. We had a buying bar at a buying time at 809. Okay, I would not have been inclined to sell it, but you can do. That's the rules. and down it comes. Okay, I'm quite cautious because this is a whippy market, the NASDAQ is. So $8.20 is the next signal. Yeah, just to recap, if you had sold the 809, you'd have made good money. I would not have bought it at the close of that. I wouldn't have done anything with it. But had you sold it, great. If you'd have applied the same rule to this as you apply to this, that would have been fantastic. 820, pressure down back into the EMA. Okay. Trend is up. You know, it's finding it difficult to make lower lows. You'd certainly have got out for break even on this, if not made a 10 points or so. Okay, price continues up. Now, here's your classic puncture trade. Your entry is 835. This gives it away. This bar here closes above the dotted line. Okay. You enter just there, 68, and take as much as you like or as much as you can get, because you're coming into a selling signal. What happens at 836? Well, you've taken a bit of heat depending on where your entry is. If you'd have entered here, which would have been fine, that would have been a good signal. You're now in a buying cycle. Okay, had you bought here, you'd have taken some heat, but your stop's down here and you'd have made some money back up into 851. Okay. I mean, I am working on the basis that you know, you wouldn't be leaving all this money on the table from 69 right up to 76. Okay. You'd be taking that, wouldn't you? 60, that, you know, that's some good money there. 851, nice push down, breaks the EMA all the way down into 905. So even on the most complicated market going, the NASDAQ, I mean, we can all agree, I think, that it's the whippiest one out there. Our time cycle markers are producing the goods. You'd have probably got stopped here depending on where your stop was. Okay. Most people put it 2 ticks below. The market knows that, and that's why you get stopped out. Depending on your risk tolerance, 50 is a big round number. If you could afford to get it down there, then do it. If you can't, then take your stop or pray. Okay, so either a break even or a stop out on this one, we'll say. 912, more pressure down. Now, watch this. Selling bar, selling time. What's the rule? We buy them. It goes back up for 1 bar. Enough time to get to break even. So that would have been a scratch, that little trade there. Okay. Nothing in here. Be flat at the moment. 923, well, you'd have been stopped on that one. And then we're into 940. Push up, close the candle, trend continuation, lovely sell-off down here. Lovely, depending on where you got out. You'd have been at least at 650. 953, selling bar, selling time, and it's also punctured. It's a tricky one, this one, because you want to buy it up because it's a selling bar. Well, you buy it up. What's it do? It can't get back over. And it comes down. Hopefully, that would be a scratch trade. Hopefully. But then it turns around, pushes back up. 1004, buying pressure on this candle here. Little winner. Gives you something. winner or a scratch, depending. You wouldn't wouldn't let it roll over on you, I hope. And then next signal's coming in at 10.26. You could, on the close back inside here, have bought it back up. It's putting effectively a, well, I don't think I'd have taken this, guys, because it's closed below this low here to the left. Okay, I would be expecting trend continuation down. But if you see this jump back above, the sort of the 10 o'clock reversal, if you like, then you know, once you get used to it, you can take these sort of trades. But I probably would have passed on that, in all honesty. 10.26, well, stop behind the line. Yeah, nice winner. Down into 10.41. Buying pressure comes in. Okay, so let's say you bought at the close here. No, let's say you wanted some confirmation it was going to go back up, and you bought here. 36 to 45, 11 points before she comes back to your entry. You'd be expecting probably a rollover there at 10.53, but you've already had price selling off into this time. Okay, so it's not surprising that it makes a higher low and carries on up. Again, I'm always running my fibs everywhere on these lows. What a surprise, 61.8. What a surprise. And up she goes. That's how I trade with it, because it keeps me out of a lot of losers. Not that there are many. We've just seen, would you agree, an 80% success rate on what we've looked at so far? Michael's a bit more conservative. He says, oh, I think 65%. Well, I think if we sat and looked at every single signal, we're over 70%, probably nearer 80. Okay, so the other things that I look at in my trading are ABCD patterns or measured moves. So push down to here, looking for an equal measure down to there. That gives me confluence with the buy signal for the push back up. Run the fibs, up she goes. So I use these not as buying and selling signals. Okay, I have learned to say to myself, at 10.41, we will have buying pressure. Okay, at 10.53, we will have selling pressure. And what do we have? We have selling pressure. Okay, doesn't last more than 2 bars, but it's still selling pressure. Now it's your choice how you play it. You know, you can get in at 39 3/4 and you can sell it and take 3 points. Probably not, but hopefully you'd get your stop to break even. Okay, or you'll be doing what I just did and saying, actually, it's 10.41, we could get a push back up. Let's run the fibs, let's see what happens. Okay, I challenge you all of you who have TimeWarp, start using your Fibonacci. Okay, so many people I speak to are lazy. Okay, I'm not pulling any punches tonight, guys. People say, oh, I got a selling signal, I expect the market to go down. I got a buying signal, I expect it to go up. Yeah, well, yes, it does do that, but use your nonce as well. Okay, the market moves in waves. Force will teach you that. Learn the waves, look for correction patterns. Okay, so moving along, next signal 11.14. It's a pullback, buying pressure at 11.14. Okay, little push up. We're in a downtrend. Okay, probably not going to go too far. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because if you look and mark out your double bottom, what's the market going to do? Comes down, puts in a double bottom, pushes back up above this low here, this higher low. So it's made a double bottom, which is lower than here, then it pushes up. It's anybody's guess as to whether that's going to be trend continuation up or whether it's going to do what it did and roll over. Time cycle marker says it's going to go up. It does for 2 bars. You start seeing this, guys. It could do either. I've seen them go up. I've seen them do this. Make sure your stops are in place and yeah, and you get out if necessary. 11.27. Price has sold down into this time, okay? 11.27, we get a push back up, then we get a push down and a rejection. Okay, so if you are selling 11.27 and you see this sort of price action, bail. All right. Learning price action takes time, especially after a move down like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, guys. Okay. 5 waves down, reversal back up. Moving on. 11.41, bit of buying pressure there up into 11.45. Okay, 11.45, selling pressure down into 11.57. Okay. A lot of people think if it hits this dot, it's going to go through. That's not always the case. They provide excellent support and resistance. Don't just put your stops 2 ticks behind it. Okay. Give it a 1.5 or something. A bit more than that anyway. Chopping sideways into lunchtime. Again, price sells off into the selling time. Okay. Into support. This whole area here is support. Learn to filter your signals. Learn to use your fibs. 12.07, upward pressure. She's going and she's staying, and eventually, wow, look at that for a move. 12.16, bang, all the way up. Now, if you'd have went to the signal, 12.17, well, fine, you'd have still made a fortune, but it continues right up. It breaks the dots and comes back inside the dots and does what only the NQ can do. Totally ignores the 12.27 signal. So had you taken that, which would have been a fair enough buy because of this impulse move here, but the NQ, I'm afraid, is prone to do these sorts of things. So if you are going to buy it at the close of this candle expecting trend continuation, for goodness sake, don't give it a lot of room, or you could end up upside down or losing a lot of money. 12.30, we've pushed down, we're back at the EMA. You can see the battle going on here on the next candle. It pushes up and then, as per the 12.30 time cycle marker, bang, down she comes. Okay. It's not easy. Trading is not easy. Even with time cycle markers, it's hard. Price pulls down. What happens at 12.34? We expect buying pressure. What do we get? We get buying pressure. Not for long. Not for long. Down it comes. Not quite a measured move with this. Okay. Not quite as long. Breaks the dots. Hopefully that 1234 signal would have been enough for you to get your stops to break even. Either that or you would have taken quite a loss. 1234, she breaks back above, pushes up, ignores the 1243, but we get selling pressure. Okay, that's all we get. Bit of pressure before she pushes back up into the EMA. I wouldn't be trading this period. It's around lunch. I don't trade lunchtime, but I'm just looking at these signals. Here's another one, 1255. What's this? It's a buying bar at a buying time. Who's going to tell me what we do with those? Anybody? Come on, I expect 74 people in the room who are all listening to me to write in the box what we do with this signal. Buying bar at a buying time. What do we do with it? Great, Paul. Fantastic. Come on. Marvelous, Harren. Come on. That's about 12 of you. I've got about 50 to go. Come on. This is Warp 101. This is what we do in the room. Doug, what do we do with it? Graham, Helmut. There's loads of you. Tom, Richard. That knocked me off my perch, Doug. Well done, Jason. We sell it. We sell it. Buying bar, buying time, we sell it. And look what happens. She goes down, she pulls up into 1302, which is another sell time, and down she goes. Now, if any of you had let this come back into the next buying time, you deserve shooting. Okay. Okay. Now, 1323. We have a selling bar coming into that. We expect to push back up. What happens? She pushes back up, and it's a beauty, isn't it? The hardest part with trading is putting on the trade and letting it work itself out. I've been analyzing my trading, and so much of my trading, I move my stops too quickly. And on the NQ, that's fatal because she moves up and down, up and down. It's great with hindsight looking at this and seeing, you know, how these bars have completed. But when you're in the middle of it, it's tricky, okay? No, these are time warp signals, totally different, Michael, okay? Totally different. And if you are interested, Michael, in warp, when you get it, you need to speak to David and ask about the time cycle markers, okay? Because I'm not sure how it all works now. He'll explain it to you. So 1323 up into 1337. What happens? 20 to 2. Oh, she goes down again into 1348. 1348, we get buying pressure. We get buying pressure. Oh, look what we've got here. It's a buying bar at a buying time. Dare I ask what we do with those? What do we do with them, guys? We sell them. I know it's counterintuitive. I know it's not easy, but look what happens. It comes down into 1357. What happens at 1357? We get a selling bar at a selling time. What do we do with that? Well, you can do nothing. What else can we do with them? Selling bars, selling times? Anybody? Somebody? Paul? Marvelous. Spot on. I knew you'd answer me. I know, Graham. I know. I know. It is very different when you are trading it yourself, but this is how it works. Okay, what I've got to work on as a trader is letting it work itself out. All right, but I'm showing you this is what we do in the room. This is what you can learn to do. And the more I do it, I've only been doing this for a year, okay? I've only been running the room for a year. It's tricky enough running a room, let alone working out where your stops are going to be, especially on the NQ. But you can see you can't argue with what's happened with the candles. You know from the emails you get, you have these in advance. 1404, up she goes. 1413, well, little push down, bit further into 1424. Then we come into the open. I do not trade the NQ at the open, but if you did, you get a push up, and then you're coming into a selling signal, and down she goes. Guys, who here trades the NQ? I do. Anybody else? Who here would agree that the NQ is a wicked market to trade? But you get a feel for it, along with selling pressure and buying pressure times, and you can make a lot of money. Okay. I normally let this settle till about 3 o'clock. Normally, this was FOMC day. Price action was horrendous, absolutely horrible. Just chop city. Didn't enjoy it at all. But if you went with the time cycle markers, 1502, she pushed down. You'd have made a little bit of money. Or scratch. 1508, she pushed back up. 1521, she pushed down a bit, came back a bit, pushed down a bit into 1531. 1531, I would not be taking signals this close, guys. Look, 1531 to 1532. Did we get buying pressure at 1531? Yes, straight into 1532, and then she rolled over. If you'd have taken 1540, well, you'd have either got stopped out or break-even trade. But the 1545 signal, look what that gave you, right down to here. Okay, now at 1554, notice the price action. Okay, you can see that this has broken these lows where we had all the support back here. The lows are broken. In fact, well, it's smack on them, isn't it? This is your low point. I probably wouldn't have been selling 1556 because of the fact that this would have been a double bottom and price would have closed. So yeah, I probably would have missed this continuation. Before I take double bottoms, I'm normally looking for a push up and then a 618 pull back into the low, and then a long back up. 1603, she pushes back up into 1615. I'm working on the basis that you keep your stops behind the dot, guys, okay? Pressure down. You may have taken the view that, you know, we're coming into 4 o'clock reversal. We're after the 4 o'clock reversal, which starts here, back down, and then up she goes. And these, we trade it every day, guys. This regular as clockwork. I say regular as clockwork. No, that's not true. I know that they start thinking about it around about 4 o'clock. Quite often it won't happen until this sort of time or just after past. But it starts going back up. So that's the NQ, guys. Let's have a quick look at the ES, the EAS. Let's go back a few days. See what happened. Now, I would normally stay away from these two because a lot of people would argue that they're correlated. I would tend to agree with them, but they haven't been lately. So let's just go back one more bit. 2020. Oh wow, 20th of July. No, we don't want to go back that far. Tuesday. What date? Tuesday, 25th, wasn't it? 24th, 25th. Where's 25th? 25th. Okay, so that's the overnight going on. All right. London Open, selling signal. I'm not trading this because I don't, but if you did, stop above the line, selling signal, sell it. Down into 851, there's a nice little winner. Okay, little measured move, I think, probably, down here. 851, again, tricky time of day, but had you stuck to the rules, stop behind the line, up she goes into 933. What happens at 933? Now, here's a tricky one. 933, she pushes down into 954. She automatically pushes up one bar before the 954 and then tries for trend continuation. So effectively the 954 bar up here would have been a buying bar at a buying time. There's 3 minute, Michael, on the ES, 3 minute. Okay, can you all see that? This is what I look for in the room when it gets tricky. So 933, we're selling. Okay, we're taking some heat. Our stop's up here. We're selling. Oh dear, it's pushed back up. We're coming into a buying time. We're thinking, oh my goodness, it's gonna rip. Well, what does it do? It pushes up and becomes a buying bar at a buying time. Okay, you've got a low risk sell. You've got a low risk sell at 954, guys. All right, down it goes. Chopped sideways for a while. In fact, for what, 20 past 10 until gone 11 o'clock. 11:06, down she goes. Chopped sideways. 11:45. Oh, well, shall we buy it? Up she goes. Look at these signals, guys. 12:36. Now, you know that you've been buying into a selling time. You know that your line is here. That's probably the least risk you could take if you preempted it and sold it knowing this time was coming up. Would I do it? Probably not. Probably not, if I'm honest. We're coming into the lunch hour. Can get a bit messy, but these signals still work, still push down, or a scratch trade there. 12:39 pushes back up into 1 o'clock. Sell it at 1 o'clock. Stop behind here. Down she goes. Now this is an interesting one. You've got your buying time. Okay. By this time you've sold off. Your stops are at least at break even, or you've locked in a couple of points. You can get your stop right down to 86.5 there. Okay, don't just close it out at 13.21 because it might do this. Come down and give you a couple more points. All right, markets are flexible. And it bounces off the line. If you'd have bought it here, your stop's just behind here, you've taken a bit of heat. Okay, pushes into 1333. What happens? She rolls over. Now, technically here, guys, we do have a selling bar at a selling time, 1333. What does she do? She pushes up again. Pushes up again. Okay. Then rolls over. So this is just a correction. It's a little ABCD, isn't it? One up, one down, one up. Little measured move. And down she comes. 1, 2, 3-ish. It's probably 5 waves down there. 1409. We are past the crude open. We're coming into the open. Okay. I'm normally around. Had you taken it at 1410, you'd have got stopped out. Okay. However, you've got a chance for re-entry because it did not close below this line. So if I was to re-enter, I would make sure that my entry was at 81 long. Okay. Now Ron looks at these slightly different to me. I look at the time between here and here as being the buying cycle. Okay, we're still in the buying pressure cycle. I'm not quite sure if he sees it time to time or whether he sees it in a shorter window than me, but that's the way that I look at it. Just because it hasn't carried on down but has stopped me out doesn't mean that the whole thing's invalid. Only if it closed below here and stayed below would I class it as invalid, if that makes sense. So these sort of things happen day in, day out. That's a big push. 81 right up to 91, 10 points there. I'll show you a little trade I did the other day in a minute. And then we push back down. In fact, that might be it. I'll have a look. And we push back up, come back down, and we're rolling now. Buying pressure. Oh dear, we got in at a bad time here. Did we get in? Should we have got in? What's this? What's this? It's a buying bar at a buying time. What do? We sell it. Get the little pullback down. If you want to. Okay? If you want to. But you don't buy it because you're buying right into the resistance of these dots, and it's a buying candle at a buying time. Round she comes, 16.15. Well, if you want to sell it, you can do. It goes down for 1 bar, long enough to get your stops to break even, but not long enough to make any money probably. 16.33. That's a tricky one, guys. It's 4:30. Market's been going up. We're at highs because we can't see any of this at the time, guys. We can't see this. Okay, we've got a big shelf here of resistance. We don't know the market's going to do that. Okay, especially when you've had a little buying bar at a buying time. Okay, so I probably wouldn't be taking that signal. The room would be closed at 4:30, so I wouldn't take that signal. But if you did, carries on up into 16.57. Would you agree there's over 65%, 75% accuracy there? Applying the rule of keeping a stop a little bit behind here, getting it to break even, and pushing down through from time to time. Once you get used to using this, you won't want to leave the money on the table. You'll take your winners. So there you go. That's the ES. And that, good Lord, it's 20 past, sorry, it's 10 past 10 in the UK. Ladies and gents, I just want to show you a little trade that I did on the ES the other day. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, it was this one. Okay, I entered a little bit early here, 45.82. Now, you can't see it in this picture, but I'm also a big fan of Elliott Wave. Okay, take care, Graham. Good. Come in the room, my friend. Come and join the room. Come and make some money. I'm just about to post the results for the last month. I'll show you the results if you hang on. Here's my entry. I got in too soon. I took a little bit of heat. Okay, my stop was not there. My stop was lower, so I stayed in. Okay, this is where I got out, up there. My target, I said in the room, and you can look at the recording if you want, was 93. I missed it on the first go. It was just a little bit short. So I let it go. Okay, I knew from analysis that we'd done, I'm a big fan of the market moving in waves, okay? 3s and 5s and all this sort of stuff. I was pretty certain that this was a wave 4 pullback because the trend was up, okay? The trend was up and we put in a double top and then we pull back down into the wave 4. So I was expecting the market to go back up. Now I didn't want to miss it because of everything else that was going on with the NQ and crude. I only had one position on. It's a bit of a shame. I wish I'd had at least 2. But you can see we pushed up. I just missed my target. I took the retracement down to the EMA and then she went back up. I wasn't going to give away 8 points, okay? 8 points on the ES, one contract, $400. This is what we do in the room, guys. In the end, whoops, excuse me, guys. In the end, did we get to the main target? Okay, which was 93. Yes, we did, but not until after the close of the room. Okay, so we may be able to work out where we think the market's going to go, but the time cycle markers really help us in identifying how it's going to get there. Okay, because I had a buying bar at 15.21, okay, I knew it was likely going to come down again, and it knew that everybody had moved their stops here. It came down once, came down twice, came down again. This is the wave 5 move up here for the completion. Okay, now if anybody is sitting on the fence regarding this, who wants to see some figures, what we've done the last month? If I can get them over to you. Here we go. This was the week of the 4th of July until the 6th. So the 4th, 5th and 6th. This is what we've done in the room. 2,337. I don't pretend to be perfect, guys. I take losses. All right, I have drawdowns. Okay, we have a reasonable, well, that in fact, that is a good profit factor. Okay, you can see the dates, you can see the end date. Okay, 65%. Okay, that is the first week of July. Second week of July, 29.07. 3 days, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Okay. This is what we do in the room. Now, some big losses in there. This is what I need to look at. I take quite a lot of losers, but we still come out with almost 70%. Week 3, net profit 2.5 grand. Okay, 72%. Max drawdown $300. Fourth week, this is the 3 days we've just had. Okay, now today was a tricky day. I was surprised we made money yesterday on the FOMC day, but we did. And we should have been at around about 2.5 grand today, but I took a big hit on the NASDAQ, I'm afraid. But even so, reasonable profit factor. Okay, reasonable percent profitability, 1,812. So this last screenshot gives you the whole of the month of July. Okay, $12,315, and this is not unusual. Okay, start date 4th of July, end date today. Just under 70% profitability. Profit factor 1.66. This is just my trading. We can do better than this. We can get this figure down. Okay, I need to concentrate more. I need to sharpen up my entries. And this will come down and this will go up. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, have you got any questions? I've gone way over time. I do apologize. Michael, you still with us? How are you feeling? You going to join us? Thanks, Graham. You've got Warp, haven't you, Graham? Come in the room, my friend. Excellent. That's fantastic. I look forward to seeing you very soon in the live room, Michael. And we'll now listen and teach you how it works and show you how to do it. And, you know, it's a tough gig. Just remember, if you want to earn a private doctor's salary of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you've got to study for years, 8 to 10 years. Okay. You don't earn hundreds of thousands trading just by picking up a red signal sell, blue signal buy indicator for $99.99. You've got to teach yourself. You've got to understand how markets move, and you've got to have the best tools on the market. Okay. Warp is fantastic. I would not trade without it, but I'll teach you how to use it. I'll teach you how markets move, and let's make some money together. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to hand over to David, and I hope to see you very, very soon in the live room. We run it Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and let's make money together. Okay, good night. God bless. Paul, thank you very much indeed. See you soon. David, over to you.
Okay, hey, thanks, Colin. You're gonna pass over? Share the screen? Oh. All right. Okay, we got you here. Thanks, Colin. Yeah. get rid of all that other stuff. But yeah, so if you're ready to go, what you come to our, obviously the website, backtothefuturetrading.com. You'll go to the product store, and that's going to bring up all our products. And this is what Colin was going over, the TachEon TimeWarp. We have a plugin, which is Aurora for the warp, TimeWarp. Optimus is our auto trader that Ron's been working on, and Michael, and they're coming along with that. And then, of course, our high-end force program. But for this, you'll come over for, if you want information on any of this, please reach out. I'm more than happy to jump on a call or text or email Dave, and it's 727-742-2626. You can call or text, and then David at backtothefuturetrading.com. So we'll go here, we'll go TachEon Warp. Apologize, my Wi-Fi is a little slow today. And then here we'll come down, have all the information, a couple of videos, and you're looking for the big bright orange buy now button. And we'll get to it one of these days. There it is. So you click there. Normally it's, yeah, the $24.95. And you can either get the pro room for 1 month at a discount. Normally it's $195, $200, and we discount it on your initial purchase for $149. Or you can just go right to the checkout without the pro room. And then you've got our purchase agreement going through. All sales are final. We've also got in here, you know, all the computer requirements. It's very basic. So if you're got it, Michael always says if you have a computer that's fairly new, 5 or 6 years, you should be good to go. Then click there, and this brings you to the checkout page. So what we're doing to get you the 500 off is the code WARPOFF, WARPOFF, all together, and it brings it down from the $24.95 down to the $19.95. So you're at the $2,000. And that gives you 2 full lifetime licenses. And then, of course, any updates, upgrades, anything we do to the program, you'll get that for free. And I think in the last, say, 8 or 9 months, we've had an update or two. So if you had purchased it before that, you would just get that naturally for free. Michael and Ron both, with their backgrounds in engineering and software, just didn't want to do the normal type of upgrade or pay for updates. So when you buy it, it's yours for the lifetime. Like I said, 2 lifetime licenses. There's no other maintenance costs, no other fees involved, just the $19.95. And then we'll also, if you need help installing it, when you purchase the product, you'll immediately get your license key, which you want to keep that in the email. And then you also have a member's login, and that's going to take you to the website, our main website, and that will get you to all the video training and all our areas. Let's see if we can pull that up. Just pull up another window. And see here. And this will bring you to your members area. And so if you are in the pro room, you're going to have all your pro room recordings. You've got the software, all the download links, the training videos, they're right here. So it's real easy to go through, and you can hear each one's got their own sections. So it's a lot of information, and it's great because you can just go at your own speed, and everything's at your fingertips right there. So if you have any questions or anything, I'm available. I'm available in the evenings too, or call at any time. 727-742-2626, Dave. And then it's David at backtothefuturetrading.com. And we look forward to having you come aboard. We'll definitely take care of you. We've got tremendous support. Of course, Colin in the pro room. That's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. Eastern to 11:30 Eastern, and those are all archived and recorded, so you can access them at any time if you so choose the pro room. And we also have, I think Michael's gave me a couple deals I can do for a few of the folks out there. So happy to share that with you. So give me a ring, and happy to help. It's Dave, 727-742-2626. Let's get you becoming that profitable trader that I know everyone wants to become, and we can help you. If you need help in the prop firms, whether it's Apex or Top Step or one of the other ones, definitely can help you with that, because lots of our customers are enjoying passing their evaluations and making money on those prop firms. Well, have a great evening, and look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you. Take care.